Today, we have a tale of two scallops. This, a hand-dive scallop, caught this morning in the Orkney Islands in Scotland. The other, a wild-caught scallop from the island of Hokkaido in Japan, probably caught a few years ago, given how long I've had this. And in my opinion, it is the best fresh scallop, it is the best dry scallop. And today, I hope we can do them justice by merging them in one dish in harmony. Let's do it. So first, to deal with the dry scallop, you really need to soak them for a very long time. Ideally overnight. So this is the first and hopefully the last time I'll say this on the channel. Here's one I've soaked earlier because we just don't have the time. As you can see how much this has expanded. And before drying, I wouldn't say this was as big as the Orkney scallop, but this was probably this size. And sun-dried scallop, they are so rich in umami. It is the major ingredient in XO sauce. Very strong flavor. The scallop dashi we're going to use to form the basis of our sauce. This is good to go. And to prepare the Orkney scallop. First of all, this is extremely tasty, just as a sashimi. So anything we do to it has to add a lot. Otherwise, you might as well just eat it raw. So to take it off the shell, what I like to do is I like to use the back of a teaspoon, and you find this muscle, because this is what binds the whole thing together. And you just push with the back of your spoon, very gently. It comes off very easily. Now, what we need to do then is to remove the muscle and the coral. And this will also form a part of our sauce. Simply run your thumb around. The mussel is extremely flavorsome, but it's unfortunately on the chewy side with fast cooking. So it's perfect if you dry it to make dashi. Once that's done, simply dry this with kitchen towel as much as possible for a good sear. Now, it's very tempting to salt at this point, but from experience, with a scallop that fresh, the salt would actually bruise the scallop, the outside of the scallop, making it look like it has acne, white acne. So I would suggest that we compensate for seasoning in the sauce instead. With that in mind, we're ready to cook. So, hot pan. As you can see, because we're making a sauce today, I'm deliberately not using a non-stick because I want a bit of the burn bits, the fond, to catch at the bottom. So we could deglass with our mirin, with our dashi, to form this really complex sauce. Once the pan is hot, high smoke point oil in this case we have vegetable oil. Once the oil is shimmering, scallop in, flat side down. You push and you let it stick in the beginning, that's wonderful. And we're going to do what's called the single-sided searing, meaning we will cook the scallop slightly more than 50% on one side to really get the Maillard reaction, the protein reacting to the high heat, giving us deeper flavors. And once we've achieved that, we flip and we just let the other side kiss the pan. And the residual heat would bring the middle to the perfect doneness. And to form the basis of our sauce, the coral and the mussel, they also go in to cook. And you can gauge the doneness by how it's turning from translucent to white. So we know we still have time. And while that's searing, we chop up some nori for garnish. This is just sushi nori, and this will reinforce the taste of the sea. The good kind, you know, not the I forgot to wash my aquarium kind. And again, this is full of umami. Perfect browning for the coral. So we're just halfway turning white. We know the scallop's ready for flipping, so we very carefully separate it from the pan. Beautiful caramelization, and we cook the other side. Golden brown, but not burnt. Now, just 30 seconds, the scallop comes out to rest, and the residual heat would cook it to perfection. To make our sauce, first we crumble the dry scallop, and we cook it out a bit to give it a bit more depth of flavors. They should crumble extremely easily. If not, that means you didn't soak it for long enough. Now, once they are golden, we add a very generous amount of mirin, Japanese sweet wine, to reinforce the sweetness of the scallop. And you cook this down until it has the texture of syrup. If you don't have mirin, you can just add a dash of water with a bit of sugar as well. Once this is syrupy, the scallop dashi goes in. And you cook it out to let the flavors emulsify. And now we season and taste for the first time. Remember, this has no salt, so we need to make this saltier to compensate. But for the color presentation, you could also add a dash of soy sauce, which goes really well with both the dry scallop and the fresh scallop. Now, we break up the coral a bit, check the texture. Incredible, smells amazing. Perfect. Now, this is ready to be liquidized. So, stove off, and the bright orange coral would give us beautiful color for our sauce. Now, we just need to blitz this. Brilliant. And that's it. We're ready to plate. We have our extremely flavorsome sauce. The smell of this is incredible. And you can still feel a bit of the texture from the dry scallop. Crispy side, or the nori dust, just to reinforce that beautiful taste of the sea. That sits right in the middle. Just garnish micro coriander for a bit of brightness to balance the strong taste of the dry scallop. Tiny, tiny bit of Shichimi Togarashi, Japanese 7 spice, to give it a bit more complexity. And that's it! Perhaps a far, far better scallop that I cooked than I'll ever cook. This is Pan-seared Orkney diver scallop with Hokkaido scallop jus, a tale of two scallops. I really, really hope you enjoy.